What if the greatest biological upgrade of your life wasn't found in a pill, a gym, or a lab, but in the silence between two meals? Imagine a morning with no breakfast, warmth drifting through the kitchen. No familiar clinking of cups, no promise of lunch, no comforting dinner glow. Just you, your body, and time. Most would call it torture. Yet beneath that discomfort, something ancient stirs, a rhythm older than civilization itself. Science now whispers what our ancestors once lived. That restraint may be nature's forgotten design. Could eating only once a day awaken the hidden machinery that built us to endure? Could hunger, the thing we dread, be the very switch that reignites our potential? We've been raised on slogans: never skip breakfast, eat small meals to keep metabolism alive. But repetition isn't proof. If those beliefs were right, why are we surrounded by fatigue in an age of abundance? What if constant eating hasn't kept our engines running, but drowned them in noise? Human history didn't unfold in cafeterias. It was carved in scarcity, in long stretches when food was a hope, not habit. Our species survived not because we always ate, but because we adapted when we didn't. Inside you, that adaptation still waits, silent, patient, powerful. When you decide to eat once a day, you aren't punishing yourself. You're opening an ancient doorway. You're letting biology remember what it was made to do. The first growl from your stomach isn't a plea for food. It's your body testing your resolve. Hours after your last meal, rebellion begins. Your stomach contracts, your head feels light, your focus drifts toward anything edible. This is not weakness, it's an alarm. The hormone ghrelin surges through your bloodstream, shouting a single command to the brain: find food. It's panic dressed as hunger, a survival reflex forged when starvation meant extinction. But here's the twist. If you don't obey, something remarkable happens. The noise fades. Your system realizes no rescue meal is coming, and instead of collapsing, it reorganizes. Hormones shift. Energy pathways reroute. The liver quietly releases stored glucose, keeping you upright and alert. Within hours, the body that once begged now begins to plan. You feel a strange calm. Your senses sharpen, thoughts clear, and steady energy replaces jittery craving. Evolution designed this paradox. When food vanished, our ancestors didn't need naps. They needed precision. Hunger became an ally, sharpening sight, smell, and awareness. Modern life labeled that feeling low blood sugar. Ancient biology called it focus. This transformation is not random. It's the choreography of millions of years of survival. Each pang you resist is a message from the past. I have done this before. I know what to do. Deprivation becomes activation. The body sensing challenge doesn't wilt. It awakens. Stress hormones balance, dopamine steadies, and suddenly the thing you feared, hunger, feels less like an enemy and more like an instructor. What if your hunger isn't in your stomach at all, but in your mind's memory of comfort? We don't just eat because we need fuel. We eat because clocks tick, commercials flash, and habits whisper. 3 meals a day became law, not biology. Skip one, and your brain protests, not from starvation, but from broken routine. Each bite you normally take releases tiny fireworks of dopamine. It's not nourishment, it's nostalgia. A reward system sculpted by comfort food and cultural rhythm. When you begin to eat once a day, that circuitry rebels. You crave not calories but the ritual, the morning coffee scent, the lunch break chatter, the evening plate that signals the day is done. This is psychological hunger, a conditioned echo rather than a biological cry. Science observes that within 72 hours of reduced eating, ghrelin, the hunger messenger, stabilizes. The chaos subsides, and a quieter awareness emerges. You start to recognize real hunger, the kind born from need, not habit. It's in this silence that discovery begins. Food loses its constant pull, and the brain finds new rewards in clarity, not consumption. You feel present, steady, awake. Your thoughts no longer orbit the next bite. They roam freely, curious again. Modern life teaches us to satisfy every urge instantly. Fasting reintroduces an ancient virtue, patience. Each hour without food becomes a small act of discipline, a reminder that you control desire, not the other way around. Hunger, stripped of panic, turns into language. It tells you when your body truly needs and when your mind simply wants. And in listening to that language, you begin to sense something profound. Your body was never at war with you. It was waiting for you to listen. When noise falls silent and the appetite quiets, a new voice rises, the whisper of biology remembering its rhythm. When the last trace of breakfast energy fades, your body doesn't surrender. It changes its fuel. As the hours stretch on, blood sugar levels drop. The liver, keeper of emergency reserves, quietly releases stored glucose so the brain stays bright. But when those reserves thin, something revolutionary begins. The body rewrites its own rules. Muscle cells switch pathways, enzymes recalibrate, mitochondria prepare a new recipe for survival. This shift, known as metabolic flexibility, is the biological art of adaptation, the ability to move from sugar burning to fat burning without chaos. It is not starvation, it is intelligence. For the first time in years, you stop feeding your body from the outside and allow it to reach inward, tapping energy you've carried all along. Stored fat, once seen as a burden, becomes a lifeline. Within this quiet switch, inflammation begins to dim. Insulin levels ease down, cellular chatter calms. Your body exhales the tension of constant digestion, a rhythm it has endured for decades. In this stillness, it heals microscopic wounds no meal ever could. And then something subtle yet undeniable occurs. Focus sharpens. Not the caffeine rush kind, but a clean, unwavering awareness. Evolution smiles. The ancient hunter has reawakened. Every bite you skip gives insulin a rest, and in that rest, your lifespan whispers its gratitude. Insulin, the silent conductor of metabolism, works tirelessly when meals never stop arriving. Each snack, each sip, each sweet triggers another wave, commanding cells to store, store, store. But when you eat once a day, the music changes. For hours, insulin drifts to a gentle hum, no longer forced into frantic tempo. In that stillness, sensitivity improves. Cells hear insulin signal again instead of tuning it out. This single recalibration ripples through the body. A blood sugar steadies. Inflammation markers fall. A fat metabolism strengthens. A cellular repair genes wake up. It's as if the orchestra finally plays in tune. Science calls it improved insulin sensitivity. Your body feels it as lightness. Yet balance comes with friction. During the first days, irritability flares, fatigue knocks, and dizziness visits. This isn't failure. It's rewiring. The body is learning ancient fluency it forgot in modern abundance. Once adaptation completes, the transformation deepens. Fat no longer clings like an unwanted guest. It melts away with purpose, fueling renewal instead of storage. The bloodstream clears, the mind steadies. This dance between scarcity and abundance is delicate. Push too far and stress hormones rise. Stay mindful and resilience blossoms. Fasting's power lies not in punishment but in precision, the awareness of when to pause and when to replenish. Longevity doesn't hide in mystery compounds. It hides in rhythm, and how often you let your body breathe. Studies from laboratories across the world echo a single melody. Periods of metabolic rest extend life. When insulin rests, DNA repair accelerates. When digestion sleeps, maintenance crews wake. Cells once busy processing food turn inward, fixing damage, clearing waste, and fortifying mitochondria. The result? A system less inflamed, more efficient, a machine polished by its own restraint. You can feel it as clarity, endurance, quiet confidence. You can't buy that in capsules, you earn it in silence. At the edge of true fasting, your body flips a hidden breaker, metabolic switching. Cells no longer wait for external sugar, they turn inward, crafting energy from stored fat. This isn't starvation, it's strategy. Every organ joins the new rhythm. The liver converts fat to ketones, muscles adapt to a slower burn, and the brain learns a new language of fuel. Inside each cell, mitochondria, the microscopic power plants, undergo transformation. They become sharper engineers, burning fat with cleaner output, releasing fewer free radicals. It's like swapping smoky diesel for pure sunlight. Energy steadies. Thoughts clear. The restlessness of hunger gives way to an alert calm. Evolution built this brilliance for survival. Hunger demanded focus, not fatigue. And now, in a world overflowing with food, you rediscover that same clarity through choice. People describe it as mental quiet, the silence where creativity hums and the world seems sharper in outline. You realize hunger was never emptiness. It was an amplifier. As mitochondria refine their craft, another benefit unfolds beneath notice. The immune system shifts from defense to restoration. Fewer oxidative sparks mean fewer internal fires to extinguish. It's not magic. It's maintenance long overdue. Your body isn't breaking down. It's upgrading its operating system in real time. Every cell that adapts to fat metabolism becomes more resilient. The heart beats with smoother rhythm. The brain hums on ketone energy that protects rather than depletes. Even mood stabilizes. No sugar highs, no crashing lows. What began as discomfort has turned into design. What felt like deprivation now reveals itself as elegance. You have stepped into the oldest experiment in biology, the art of thriving between feasts. When the body stops waiting for sugar, it invents its own light. Deep in the liver, a quiet alchemy begins. Fatty acids break apart, recombine, and emerge as ketone bodies, molecules small enough to slip through every barrier, potent enough to power both brain and muscle. They burn cleaner, steadier, longer. As ketones rise, something extraordinary unfolds. The brain, once addicted to glucose, learns a new language of energy. Neurons fire with calm precision instead of jittery bursts. The fog that once followed every meal lifts like morning mist. Focus strengthens, mood steadies. Science observes this state as ketosis. You feel it as mental peace. It's as if the mind itself has discovered silence after years of static. And the chemistry behind that silence carries promise far beyond weight loss. Research shows ketone metabolism generates fewer free radicals, lowers inflammation, and shields neurons from degeneration. This simple, ancient mechanism may be one of nature's oldest forms of brain protection. In this state, hunger doesn't steal your strength, it lends you clarity. As the body learns to thrive on its own reserves, energy no longer crashes in waves. It flows. Each cell becomes a craftsman, sculpting endurance from scarcity. What began as an experiment now feels like evolution remembering itself. Yet every transformation asks a toll. The first days of deep ketosis can bring fatigue, dizziness, and a fleeting sense of weakness, what people call the keto flu. But it passes, replaced by a steady hum of resilience. You've given your body a new fuel and the time to master it. Beneath this adaptation, tissues repair. The immune system quiets. The engine runs cooler, cleaner, smarter. It is not starvation. It is efficiency rediscovered. Around 16 hours without food, an invisible revolution begins. Inside each cell, tiny recycling plants switch on. Damaged proteins, broken mitochondria, and molecular waste are dismantled and reborn. This process, autophagy, literally self-eating, is the body's oldest housekeeping ritual. When autophagy thrives, health flourishes. When it falters, disease finds room to grow. Scientists discover that by allowing the body to pause digestion, we awaken the same mechanisms that prevent cancer, repair the heart, and sharpen the brain. Imagine billions of janitors sweeping microscopic corridors, collecting the debris of daily metabolism. What they leave behind is renewal, fresh membranes, stronger enzymes, more efficient energy flow. The result is not visible in the mirror but unmistakable in how you feel. Vitality without stimulation, calm without fatigue. The body has finished its spring cleaning. In the silence of fasting, every cell learns the art of letting go. Old, malfunctioning parts are broken down. New ones take their place. Autophagy turns decline into design. The process inspired a Nobel Prize because it revealed that longevity isn't a mystery, it's maintenance. With each cycle of rest and renewal, your biology rehearses youth. Muscles recover faster, the heart beats steadier, even skin cells regenerate with smoother rhythm. You have not tricked your body, you finally listened to it. True hunger doesn't just test the body, it reshapes the mind. When food disappears, the brain's chemistry rearranges itself. At first, chaos, irritability, mood swings, the echo of ancient fear. But slowly, a deeper order emerges. Levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, rise, nurturing new neural connections. The mind becomes more resilient, more adaptable, more aware. Patience replaces panic. Each skipped meal becomes a lesson in self-control rather than deprivation. You realize how much of appetite was habit, how little was need. Fasting transforms from restriction into refinement. Thoughts sharpen, emotions smooth out, and discipline turns into freedom. You begin to master the impulse that once mastered you. This is the hidden gift of hunger, awareness. It teaches you to pause before reacting, to feel before feeding, to appreciate before consuming. Every hour without food becomes a quiet meditation on resilience. Hunger is no longer a signal of weakness, it's proof of strength reclaimed. By this point, your body and mind speak the same language again. One asks only when it truly needs, the other listens without fear. That alignment is the forgotten harmony of human biology, the balance between desire and discipline, survival and serenity. Every experiment with power demands respect. Fasting is no different. The same silence that heals can, if ignored, unbalance. While the body adapts beautifully to restraint, each system negotiates its own limits. Go too far, and the harmony that once felt divine begins to tremble. Energy may dip. Blood pressure can fall. The delicate choreography of hormones adjusts in uneven rhythm. What feels like calm to one person may feel like collapse to another. When the window for nourishment narrows too tightly, absorption struggles. Vitamins and minerals miss their chance to enter the bloodstream. Muscles begin to whisper for protein. The immune system hums more faintly. The lesson is not fear. It is awareness. Fasting is precision medicine, and every dose depends on the individual. Women, in particular, walk a narrower line. The same hormonal system that allows the creation of life also guards against starvation. When calories stay too low for too long, leptin and reproductive hormones respond with alarm, suspending cycles to preserve energy. It is the body's plea for moderation, not defiance of will. Even the mind can lose its balance. The pursuit of control sometimes slips into obsession, meals measured not by need but by anxiety. The goal of fasting was freedom, not fixation. The danger is never in hunger itself. It's in forgetting that food is more than fuel. Meals are memory, community, and connection. The laughter that rises over a shared table nourishes in ways no nutrient chart can. The rhythm of eating together built civilizations. To fast wisely is to honor both the silence between meals and the music within them. Balance, not extremity, sustains life. The body was made to move between feast and famine, to flex rather than freeze. Fasting's true genius lies in rhythm, cycles of giving and resting, of fullness and emptiness, each complementing the other. There is no universal key to the body. Every metabolism writes its own code. For some, one meal a day becomes liberation. Fatigue vanishes, inflammation subsides, weight settles as if gravity eased its grip. For others, it can unravel strength, dim mood, or distort hormones. Athletes often find their muscles unwilling to rebuild within narrow eating windows. Those managing thyroid or diabetic conditions may encounter dangerous glucose drops or metabolic slowdowns. Biology is a spectrum, not a rule book. Yet when guided with intention, fasting reveals its precision. Studies from Harvard, Stanford, and the National Institutes of Health show improved insulin sensitivity, reduced inflammatory markers, and enhanced mitochondrial function. Even short, controlled fasting periods triggered gene pathways tied to longevity. The key is understanding your terrain: hydration, nutrient density, sleep, stress. Fasting amplifies what already exists. Balance outside the eating window defines success inside it. Think of fasting not as a commandment, but as a conversation. Your body speaks in subtle languages: pulse, temperature, mood, clarity. Listen, and it guides you toward the rhythm that heals. Ignore it, and even wisdom turns to noise. When practiced with awareness, the act of eating once a day becomes less a rule and more a calibration. It's not about starving. It's about synchronizing energy with need. You begin to sense when hunger is a signal, when it's a shadow, and when it's silence asking for rest. That awareness is mastery, biology guided by mindfulness. Every culture that sought eternity first learned to pause. Long before laboratories named autophagy or ketosis, ancient people practiced fasting as devotion, healing, and clarity. Greek philosophers broke bread sparingly to sharpen their thoughts. Indian sages abstained from stilling the mind. Egyptian priests fasted before rituals of renewal. They didn't have data, they had intuition, and intuition led them to the same biological truths we measure today. Periods of rest extended vitality. When digestion slept, the body repaired. Modern research now echoes what ancient intuition already knew. Caloric restraint activates genes linked to repair and longevity. Animal studies reveal lifespan extensions approaching 30%. In humans, reduced insulin signaling and improved mitochondrial efficiency translate to slower cellular aging. Each hour spent not eating is an hour the body spends rebuilding. Longevity isn't measured by clocks. It's measured by how slowly the body decays between ticks. Fasting tilts the balance toward preservation. Inflammation wanes, DNA repair strengthens, metabolic waste clears. But the greatest gift may be psychological, gratitude. When you finally break your fast, the first bite feels monumental. Flavors bloom like rediscovered music. You taste with attention. That moment of awareness, the return to simple appreciation, is perhaps the truest definition of youth. Every ancient culture carried a secret disguised as patience. Long before glucose meters and nutrition labels, people learned by rhythm. Farmers fasted through barren seasons. Monks embraced hunger as clarity. Healers prescribed silence before medicine. They understood something our abundance has blurred. That absence, used wisely, sustains life. Greek thinkers called fasting the physician within. Indian mystics saw it as a dialogue between body and spirit. From the deserts of Arabia to the mountains of Japan, abstaining from food meant inviting wisdom home. Modern science now confirms what those instincts foretold. Periods of metabolic rest improve repair, focus, immunity, and mood. The vocabulary changed, not the truth. Ketosis replaced purification. Autophagy replaced renewal. But the essence remains the same, healing through stillness. When you fast today, you're not following a trend. You're remembering an inheritance. Inside your DNA beats the memory of feast and famine, of long hunts and longer waits. Each pause between meals reconnects you to that lineage. The hum of discipline echoing through your veins isn't modern self-control. It's ancestral wisdom resurfacing. Civilization may have tamed hunger, but it never erased its purpose. Fasting restores the dialogue between instinct and intellect, between the primitive you and the mindful you. That reunion is balance, the equilibrium evolution always intended. If your body could speak after a day without food, it would not beg. It would whisper thanks. Thank you for letting me breathe, it would say. For giving my cells a moment to repair, my liver a chance to cleanse, my heart a rhythm unbroken by sugar and rush. You would feel that gratitude is lightness, is calm. Because fasting, at its heart, is not deprivation but dialogue, a conversation with yourself in the oldest language there is. Every system in your body knows how to rest. Only your habits forget. Eating once a day reminds every organ of that forgotten art. It teaches you that resilience isn't built by excess but by intelligent restraint. Harmony, not heroism, is evolution's design. The human body was never meant to live in extremes. It was meant to flex, to feast when food is plenty, to fast when food is gone, to adapt and thrive in both. That flexibility is the true miracle of our species. Science can name the pathways, ketosis, autophagy, metabolic switching, but beneath the terminology lies something older than words, trust. Trust that your body knows what to do when you simply step aside. Fasting isn't a rebellion against hunger. It's reconciliation with nature. It's the humility to let your body show its genius. And when you finally eat again, that single meal, you taste more than flavor. You taste awareness, patience, and the quiet power of restraint. You realize that nourishment begins long before the first bite and lasts long after the last one. Perhaps the question was never, can you eat once a day? Perhaps it was, can you listen long enough to hear what hunger has been trying to tell you? Because in that silence, your body doesn't fade. It remembers. It repairs. It becomes what was always meant to be, alive in rhythm, conscious in every cell, timeless in every breath.